And we had a brilliant first session of the day two of 2022 IPL Mega Auctions. It was amazing. दिल्ली कैपिटल्स का पर्स बहुत कम होते हुए भी बहुत स्मार्ट खरीदारी की है, तो वो जो अच्छे अच्छे प्लेयर्स अभी दिल्ली कैपिटल्स ने लिए हैं, सबसे पहले मैं उनके बारे में कुछ बता दूं। पहले मैं अपने बारे में कुछ बता दूं। मैं हूं आपका लव कोच राहुल मार्किन फ्रॉम फीवर एफएम, और आज आप हमें दिल्ली कैपिटल्स के सभी सोशल मीडिया हैंडल्स पर एकदम लाइव देख रहे हैं, मेगा ऑक्शंस का लुत्फ उठा रहे हैं। वहां पे अभी लंच टाइम है और यहाँ पे अभी टाइम है हमें एनालाइज करने का कि हमने क्या क्या खरीदा है और क्या वो सही खरीदा है कि नहीं। तो सबसे पहले मनदीप सिंह, जिनकी बाजी लगाई गई है 1.10 करोड़। उसके बाद फिर दिल्ली ने खरीदा खलील अहमद, जो दिल्ली के लिए एक बहुत अच्छा बाय है, which was for 5.25 crore, and उसके बाद चेतन सकारिया for 4.20 crore। तो ये तीन प्लेयर्स मोटे मोटे जो हमने अभी जो मैंने देखा। इसके अलावा अगर कोई मेरे से भूल चुक होगी तो प्लीज मुझे यहाँ पे कमेंट्स में आप बता दीजिएगा। बट अभी जरूरत है इंट्रोड्यूस करवाने की some amazing panelists जो आज हमें यहाँ पे इस वक्त ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं। We have Mr. Sam Kashru, founder Cross Border Cricket. We have Neha Shetty, who's the host of Never on the Back Foot podcast. हमारे साथ हैं सेंटोकी कैरेबियन क्रिकेट पॉडकास्ट से, हमारे साथ हैं शाश्वत ओवरथ्रो पॉडकास्ट से, हमारे साथ हैं सर विजय लोकपल्ली जी, हु इज सीनियर कंसल्टेंट स्पोर्ट्स स्टार से, और साथ हमारे साथ हैं डीजे चक Edges and Sledges podcast से। So a huge experience। हमारे पास वो पैनलिस्ट भी हैं जो बिल्कुल नब्ज जानते हैं क्रिकेट की, और वो भी हैं जिनका तजुर्बा हमारी उम्र से भी ज्यादा है। So आज बहुत मजा आने वाला है। So first of all, let's talk about what are the high points of first session of today's auction। तो क्या क्या हुआ जी? सबसे पहले मैं आपको बता दूं, मोस्ट एक्सपेंसिव प्लेयर आज का अभी तक का रहे हैं लिविंगस्टन, जिनके ऊपर सभी टीमों की निगाहें थी। बड़ी सारी ऑक्शन हुई उसके ऊपर लेके, हर टीम ने अपने अपने डंडे उठाए, बट फाइनली 11.5 करोड़ एंड लिविंगस्टन गए पंजाब के पास। मोस्ट एक्सपेंसिव इंडियन बाय वाज 5.25 खलील अहमद, हमारी टीम के पास, दिल्ली के पास। चलिए जी, सबसे पहले मैं विजय सर से ही पूछना चाहूंगा। हेलो विजय सर, हाउ आर यू सर?
Hello, everyone. I had said just before the start that I had to share one anecdote which will put IPL in perspective. I remember I had to do in 2007 the ICL cricket tournament, which was before the IPL started. And 2008 we were also wondering कि ये क्या गेम है, क्या लिखेंगे, कैसे कवर करेंगे. Sometime around I think 2010 at the Palam ground, I was sitting with Yashpal Sharma, who was the national selector then, and we were sitting opposite the pavilion because he didn't like to sit with the players. And suddenly we saw हमारे सामने से प्लेयर जाते थे, कोई भी यशपाल शर्मा को विश नहीं करता था। प्रॉब्ली या तो उनको मालूम नहीं था ये नेशनल सेलेक्टर है, जो भी है। सो थोड़ी देर बाद उधर देखा एक आया कोई चेयर लेके ना, हमसे दूर एक बैठ गया, एंड सडनली ऑल द प्लेयर्स आर वन बाय वन कमिंग टू हिम, उससे बात कर रहे हैं और बात करके जा रहे हैं उसको, दे आर गोइंग आउट ऑफ द वे टू विश हिम। तो यशपाल में से ही सेड, यार विजय ये कौन है भाई, ये मेरे को तो कोई देख नहीं रहे और हर कोई इसी के पास जा रहा है, जरा पता तो कर। So I just went up to him and I found out that he was a former Bombay cricketer and he was an IPL scout. So you can imagine that the IPL scout was far more in demand than the national selector. So those I think were early times an indication to us that IPL is going to grow, the importance of IPL, and how the youngsters were looking forward to it. So I think I'm very happy it has grown. The only concern that former cricketers have been saying is that they should be able to keep their feet on the ground, not lose their focus. जब आपको suddenly 10 करोड़ आ गया बैंक में, तो आपको BMW भी खरीदनी है और कोई बड़ी महंगी घड़ी भी लेनी है, चश्मे तो आपको मिल ही जाते हैं. I'm just joking, but IPL has been good, and we are seeing the fruits now. I mean, in the initial years, there were apprehensions about the league, but I think it has come to stay. It has become very important to the game of cricket. And now, of course, आप मैं नहीं, हमारे sisters and mothers and उनको भी मैच देखना होता है, वो मेरे टाइम में नहीं होता था.
बिल्कुल, क्या बात कही है. And actually you made us travel through time from the time of ICL to IPL, cut to 2022 mega auctions. Amazing. और seriously we would love to know more about the journey और कैसे आपने वो उस ट्रांजिशन को एक्सपीरियंस किया है, कैसे उसे देखा है. बहुत कुछ जानना है सर आपसे, बट अभी हम ऑक्शंस की बात करेंगे. डीसी दिल्ली कैपिटल्स टिल नाउ 16 प्लेयर्स हमारे पास आ चुके हैं, जिसमें से 5 बैट्समैन हैं, 3 ऑलराउंडर्स हैं, 5 पेसर्स हम ऑलरेडी ले चुके हैं, एक स्पिनर, 2 विकेट कीपर्स और 4 फॉरेनर्स. रिमेनिंग पर्स कितना है हमारे पास? अराउंड 6, 5.95 करोड़ टू बी प्रिसाइज. तो अब इसके अंदर क्या क्या किया जा सकता है? वैसे मेरे पर्स में इतने पैसे होते तो मैं तो बड़ा कुछ कर सकता था, बट हमें अभी प्लेयर्स खरीदने हैं और लेस देन 6 करोड़ रिमेनिंग इन आवर पर्स. तो क्या किया जाना चाहिए? सबसे पहले शाश्वत मैं आपसे पूछूंगा. अब सेकेंड सेशन की हमें स्ट्रैटेजी बनानी है, तो शाश्वत आप बताइए भाई, 6 करोड़ आपके पास होते तो आप क्या करते?
जी मुझे लगता है कि सबसे पहले दिल्ली कैपिटल्स को देखना चाहिए कि थोड़ा एक्सपीरियंस प्लेयर्स लिए जाए, स्पिनर्स जैसे पीयूष चावला और कर्ण शर्मा है, क्योंकि मुझे लग रहा है अभी एक स्पिनर कम है. कुलदीप यादव है आपके पास, अक्षर पटेल है, बट मुझे लगता है एक स्पिनर और चाहिए होगा. और मुझे लगता है जैसे बाकी सारी टीम्स हैं, सीएसके, मुंबई, दे आर लुकिंग टू फॉर्म अ टीम जो एग्जिस्टिंग मतलब उनके प्लेयर्स है. जैसे अभी तक सीएसके में सिर्फ 2 प्लेयर्स ऐसे हैं जो नए हैं, बाकी सारे प्लेयर्स उनके वही हैं जो कोर में रहे हैं. तो मुझे लगता है दिल्ली कैपिटल्स में भी वही है कि जो एग्जिस्टिंग प्लेयर्स हैं उनकी थोड़ी कमी है. तो आई थिंक उनको ईशांत शर्मा, उमेश यादव, ये थोड़े जो एक्सपीरियंस्ड इंडियन पेसर्स हैं और थोड़े एक्सपीरियंस स्पिनर्स जो हैं, स्पेशली लाइक पीयूष चावला, कर्ण शर्मा, तो मुझे लगता है उसके लिए जाना चाहिए दिल्ली कैपिटल्स को इस टाइम पे.
क्या बात है, थैंक यू. Also we have Neha with us. Neha, you are an ardent fan of RCB. तो सबसे पहले मैं आपसे RCB के बारे में ही पूछूंगा. अभी तक का जो RCB का सिलेक्शन रहा है, जो उन्होंने चूज किए हैं प्लेयर्स, आपको क्या लगता है? Are you happy? You're satisfied?
First up, thank you so much for having me on the show. Really honored to be on a panel that has such renowned names in the world of cricket. To focus on RCB's purchases, obviously our retentions have been really good. When we look at Kohli, Maxwell, and Siraj, they've been good retainments. Now, when we look at the recruits in the form of Faf du Plessis for 7 crores was kind of expensive, but again, the experience he brings to the RCB setting is really good. And when we look at Banindu Hasaranga too, he is young and has had some very good series. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him play as well. And I feel with Dinesh Karthik, we have a good finisher who can actually, help RCB in the death overs aspect. And with Josh Hazelwood, obviously, you have a good Aussie quick who's very reliable, and can give those good economical overs with wickets as well. And obviously our domestic recruits with Anuj Rawat and Akash Deep is good. So overall the buys look good. And yeah, obviously how can I forget Purple Patel? Harshal Patel too has been bought back by us. So all in all RCB look good, but a few more purchases and I think we'll be on the right track.
So if you have to choose one of the maybe Maxi and Faf du Plessis, who would you choose as a captain for RCB this time?
That's a tricky one. I'd probably go with Faf du Plessis because, he's had the experience of leading South Africa previously as well. Maxwell, I would want to keep him as my star batter and not put the pressure of captaincy on him. So I'd probably go with Faf du Plessis.
All right. So going back to Vijay sir, I would want to ask you, so the last 1, 2, 3, 4 sessions, out of these sessions, which team has impressed you in terms of their smart buying and living? So which team has actually impressed you a lot?
I think if you look at them, most of them are guarded. They've been guarded, looking for specific players which will suit them. And I think the focus has been, like Neha said, I'm very impressed with RCB. They've used it they've used their money very wisely. Similarly, if you look at the new teams, Ahmedabad and Lucknow, they've also done extremely well. But for me, I think the team to watch will be Ahmedabad.
Ahmedabad.
Going by the strength, yeah, it will be yes, new team. They'll have a lot to prove, a lot to achieve, and you'll have to keep an eye on this team because they are a very balanced squad. But to me, I would like to know from you which team has focused on having a finisher, because to me, T20 is not about opening; it's about finishing. So, which team has the best finisher? You should tell me because you are more informed.
देखिए मुझे because I am a very emotional Delhi Capitals fan, so I would want to go in favor of Delhi Capitals और मैं चाहूंगा कि अभी एक फिनिशर की और जरूरत है और I would want अगर हो सके तो उस जो 6 करोड़ बचे हैं उनमें से 3 करोड़ एक अच्छे फिनिशर पे लगाए जाएं 3-4 करोड़ बाकी के कोई अंडर 19 प्लेयर्स हम ले सकते हैं सो बट स्टिल ह्यूज वे टू गो अभी एक पूरा का पूरा सेशन बाकी है गोइंग टू सैंटुकी भाई आपसे मैं जानना चाहूंगा कि अब अगर दिल्ली की बात करें तो कौन कौन से बेसिस हैं एक तो ऑफ कोर्स फिनिशर की जरूरत है कौन कौन से बेसिस हैं जो अभी भी कवर करने बाकी हैं
Oh, sorry, what was that?
Yeah, okay. I would request. I thought आप हिंदी समझ जाएंगे. I speak in English. So, what are the bases Delhi Capitals would need to cover now in the second session of our auction?
So I think obviously you've gone for left arm bowling options. I do think you need a spinner, most likely an Indian spinner. But I've come on here to talk about West Indian cricketers, so I'm going to mention Akil Hussain. Could be a overseas pick. He can spin and also he can bat. And I think, as we mentioned earlier, finisher, a good finisher as well for the side. Tim David is still going in the auction, so I think Tim David will be a very, very valuable purchase for Delhi in that finisher role as well.
Great. You also host the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. So the Caribbean players today and yesterday have been really wonderful during the auction. And which player has impressed you the most in, throughout the 2 days, throughout the 4 sessions?
So yeah, a player who generated a lot of hype, Odean Smith. He's someone who plays for my franchise in Caribbean Premier League, guy in the Amazon Warriors. He's always been a good bowler who can generate a lot of pace. He looks very big as well. He looks like a rugby NFL player. He's built very strong. And we've seen in the India ODI series, he's improved his batting as a finisher. So he's someone who we expected to get a deal, and he has. Also earlier today, Dominic Drakes was bought. He's someone who, he's a bowling all-rounder. He's got a lot of potential. He was signed by Chennai last year in the playoffs, and he's someone long-term who I think will improve. So he's been a very astute purchase as well. And obviously Jason Holder, we've seen what he can do. Bagged a lot of wickets in the England series, a valuable all-rounder, IPL experience, so very, very valuable deal. I think a controversial sign-in in terms of the fee paid has been Nicolas Porand. So he's been out of form. He averaged 10 last season for Punjab, but he's got a 1.4 million bid. So it's obviously the franchises have seen an upside to him and his potential for the next few years. So Porand, someone who I think could be a very, very good signing, but is a risky purchase at $1.4 million US.
Great, thank you. We also have DJ Chuck, and because he hosts an English podcast, so हम बात करेंगे about the English players. So DJ Chuck, which English player did out of all those 2 days, yesterday and today, one player who actually impressed you a lot, and then we'll talk about maybe an unsold player also. But first, one player who you were impressed with.
course, Rahul bhai, we host an English cricket podcast, but it's about Indian cricket. But we can talk about English players as well. Of course, Liam Livingston comes to mind. He's the one who's gone for the highest amount this time. He's a big hitter. He's I think he was bought by the Rajasthan Royals last year for 75 lakhs only at his base price, and this year he's gone for a big amount of money. Hits big, can finish, did well in the 100 last year as well. So obviously he's pretty impressive. Jason Roy, I think yesterday was quite a steal. He's just scored a 57 ball 116, I think, in the PSL. So he went to the Gujarat Titans, and I think he's going to be a great sort of. He's an explosive batsman, and if he comes off, he could change a team's season for me. So I think those two picks come immediately to mind. Jofra Archer is still in the auction. He's not going to play this year, but I mean, he's such a huge name in the world of cricket, right? He's been injured. He's not going to play this year, maybe not next year. I don't know. But of course, those two guys who've been picked up, Roy and Livingston, are my top two. And I think when you talk about the unsold player, you're probably talking about an ex-KKR captain. But I'll let you ask the question.
Right. So, what reason do you think would have been because he was not even sold at his base price?
I think he hasn't contributed as much with the bat, and you can't carry a captain in the IPL. I mean, CSK fans will probably beg to differ with me. Because MS Dhoni came and scored 19 of 7 to put the Delhi Capitals out of the IPL qualifier last year. But Morgan just hasn't got the runs, the weight of the runs behind him. A few years ago, he was a good pick as a batter alone. You can't pick someone for the next 3 years to be your captain, really, unless you're MS Dhoni. So I think they want an Indian captain. That's why they went big after Shreyas Iyer. I think he's going to be their pick. So that's why he's gone unsold. The other English player that English cricket fans really think should get an IPL deal is Adil Rashid. And I mean, you open your Twitter and they're like, why hasn't Adil Rashid got a deal? Why hasn't he got a deal? The truth of the matter is there are enough leg spinners in India, enough wrist spinners in India, local players, and for a foreign player to take up an overseas spot, you really have to be absolutely exceptional. You have to be a Sunil Narayan. You've got to be a Chris Gale, a player that can win a match just by themselves, right? And Adil Rashid, he's an excellent leg spinner. He's fantastic. Of course, we all remember that ball that he bowled to Kohli, which left Kohli just with his mouth open, right? But unfortunately, I don't think he's going to get a deal again this year, or he'll get picked at a base price. So those are the two players I think that have gone unsold with.
Thank you very much, guys. Just be here because in a few moments from now, in a few seconds, we have a huge surprise for you guys. So all you guys who are watching us live across all Delhi Capitals social media platforms, we have a big surprise waiting for you. In a few moments, in a few seconds, we'll have him through. You can see him through the screen, and maybe in a few seconds we'll be talking to him, and you'll love to see him here. And we'll be definitely asking some questions regarding the auction, and of course his journey with IPL, his journey with Delhi Capitals. I'm waiting for him to join our screen. It's just a few seconds away, and I'm really excited to see him for the first time on the screen here, just a few inches away from me. So just a few, yes. So we have Mr. Henrik Nokia with us. Woo! Let's welcome Mr. Henrik Nokia, the fastest in the IPL, the fastest man alive in the IPL. Henrik Nokia, how are you, sir?
Awesome. I'm great. Thanks, yourself.
Thank you so much for joining. The first question I would love to ask you is, how's your health now?
Sorry, say that again.
How is your health now?
No, all good, all good. Busy building up the bowling and getting ready for some cricket again. So yeah, it's been long, it's been frustrating, but it's also been a good break at the start. But yeah, really looking forward to getting back on the park now. So exciting time coming up.
And of course, we pray, we wish with our fingers crossed that your injury doesn't affect your pace, your speed. It should be 160 kilometers this IPL from Delhi Capitals. This is what we are hoping for. And coming on to our next question, we are so lucky, we are so blessed, we are so happy to have you retained in our Delhi Capitals team. How do you feel?
Yeah, I was obviously very happy to be retained. It's an honor to be with the team, sort of knowing everyone, knowing the team, knowing the surroundings, and how the staff and players operate. So I'm really excited to join the team again. I think it's going to be an amazing season once again. Yeah, just can't wait for that first ball to get bowled. But I'm really happy to be a part of the Delhi Capitals.
Great. Talking about the Delhi Capitals team culture. Would you tell us a bit about, because you have been a part of the DC team culture for a long time now, what's the DC team culture off the field?
I think it's a great environment. We were quite a lot of youngsters in the team. By saying youngsters, most of us were under probably 25, 27. There were a lot of young guys in the team, a lot of guys who sort of just started playing international cricket maybe, or who's touching international cricket. And also then we had a bunch of guys that was quite experienced. So it was nice getting along with everyone, learning from one another, lots of banter off the field, and yeah, lots of respect for one another. So it was a really good environment, and hopefully I'm sure it will be, but hopefully it's going to be the same this season.
So are you watching the auctions right now?
I was following it on my phone yesterday, a little bit on Pick Info. I haven't been watching it live, but I've been following it, and yeah, there's some good buys going around.
So you must be aware of all the players that Delhi Capitals have bought till now, and the little amount of purse that we are left with. And of course, that's the last session. One or two players whom do you think should be a part of the Delhi squad?
No, I don't know. That's not my field. Yeah, it seems like it's a very good team so far. So I'm not too sure what happened today. I haven't been following today, but so far it's been. It looks like almost all bases are covered at this stage. So I'm not too sure. I can't give you any names. I'm not the expert in that field.
Thank you. And we also have a few panelists who would want to ask you one question. We have Sam from Cross Border Cricket. Sam, what's your question?
Hi, Enric. How are you doing? Pleasure talking to you.
But I'm good, thank you. Nice to chat to you too.
Excellent. So, Enric, it's a homecoming of sorts for David Warner, because he's played for Delhi before, and then he was with the SRH. He's come back to Delhi, and so what's your message for him? Because he's had an amazing T20 World Cup. He and Mitch Marsh as well, playing that innings that he did, played in the finals. What's your message out to Warner and Mitch Marsh to be a part of the Delhi team culture now? Is it changed since then?
I can't really comment on as it changed, but yeah, I suppose it's a welcome back to Warner. I'm really excited to be working with him. Obviously, lots of experience. We've had some good battles on the field. I've really enjoyed the fight, but yeah, looking forward to working with him and both him in the nets and trying to learn as much as possible. I think it's going to be a good season, and it's just a great environment. I can't wait for them to get in as well and experience it again.
Thank you, and I think somebody else also wants to ask you one question. Yes, who else is there? Just raise your hand. One question allowed. Yes, please.
Yeah, hi, Enric. I'm glad to be on the other side of the Zoom from you, not on the other side of the pitch. But obviously, you're going to be leading the Delhi Capitals bowling attack, the pace bowling attack. And you've seen, we've just picked up Chetan Sakaria. We've just gone for Khalil Ahmed. We've got Shardul Thakur. We've just, Lalit Yadav has just been picked up as well while we've been speaking. So, how are you looking forward to leading that bowling attack? What do you feel about, because we've got now 3 left arm seamers. You've got the Fizz as well, of course, who was picked up yesterday. So you've got 3 left arm seamers, your right arm as well as Shardul. So how do you see that bowling attack coming along?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting on how it starts off. I think it's going to be important, sort of understanding what the message is from the support staff and from the coaches, what they want. So I think once we can just sort of identify what brand we want to play, how we want to go about things. Like I said earlier, I think we've got all of the bases almost covered. So that's the nice thing of it. If we need a medium pacer, if we need a pace bowler, if we need whatever we need, we've almost got it. So they're very smart with how they go about things and how they strategize. So that's the nice thing. I think if conditions change, whatever the conditions might be, we'll have someone to do the job on the day. So that's really exciting. And then hopefully we can just take it from where they want us to go and where we left off sort of last season. I know it's a lot of new guys and different players, but I think the bowling has been pretty good in the team in general. And it's just about understanding what we want to do and how we want to achieve it and being very clear. It's something that's been spoken about a lot in the meetings. It's just being clear and doing our thing and sort of backing the plans that we've got set out. So really excited to join up with them and see how we're going to go about things. But I think it's a really good attack and all bases are covered.
Thank you. And before we leave, I would my last request to you would be, Henrik, if you could just maybe say one message for all your Delhi Capitals fans.
Yeah, to everyone, thanks for supporting so far. Thanks for the support during this year. It's been it's going to be a fresh team. It's going to be a new team, but we're really looking forward to the challenges that's coming up, and we can't wait to get on the field, play for Delhi, and sort of give back to everyone who's been supporting over the years. I know it's been tough and it hasn't been easy. Hopefully people will be able to come out. I'm not sure what the situation will be, but even if we play behind closed doors again, it would be really nice to just sort of give back to everyone who's been supporting over the years, and hopefully get closer or get that trophy for you guys.
Thank you very much. So thank you, Henrik, for being with us, sparing your precious time, and wish you a lot more speedy recoveries and deliveries. Thank you, and all the best.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Thanks, guys. See you soon.
Thank you. So, जनाब वापस आते हैं हमारे डिस्कशन की तरफ, और I think अभी एक ताजा एक development हुई है. I just need to confirm. Yash Dhul has been sold to Delhi Capitals, which is amazing. I was expecting this कि आना चाहिए, and now we have Yash Dhul with Delhi Capitals while we were talking to Henrik Nokia. So something really big has happened. Yash Dhul has gone to Delhi Capitals. Amazing, super. And Lalit Yadav also has been sold to Delhi Capitals for 65 lakhs. So दो good news एक साथ. All the Delhi Capitals fans, आपके लिए बहुत I think it's a good news. It's a huge news. So while we were talking to Henrik Nokia, these two things happen, or two amazing developments for Delhi Capitals. Yash Dhul और हम waiting कर रहे थे, and वाह जी वाह, रिपल पटेल भी, क्या बात है जी, अमेजिंग. तो यहाँ पे 3 अमेजिंग डेवलपमेंट्स हुई हैं. चलो जी वापस चलते हैं. अब जो अभी हम अंडर 19 प्लेयर्स की ही बात कर रहे थे, सैम, I would want to ask, इसके अलावा कौन-कौन से और प्लेयर्स हैं which you would want in our kitty की आने चाहिए पक्का? यश धुल तो आ गए ऑलरेडी.
देखिए, मैं एक्चुअली क्वाइट खुश हूं आपने इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन पूछा, बिकॉज आई हैव सीन यश धुल grow up in the DC Academy, क्योंकि मैं उसको बैटिंग करता हुआ देख रहा हूँ पिछले 2-3 साल से, और मैंने राज अंगद बावा को भी देखा है बचपन से, जो who went ahead and ended up playing obviously and did really well. Got 160, got a 5-wicket haul, did really well. And Ankarish, who's not in this option, he opened for India, and Ankarish also I know quite well. So I'll tell you what, I mean, there is a lot. This is, truly start believing talent meets opportunity, and that's what is being provided by the IPL. And I know we're talking about balancing this thing. I mean, we're talking about getting in someone who is totally seasoned in the shape of a Suresh Raina, how we started the conversation today with, and you merge that with a Yash Dhul, who is this upcoming talent. So, that's the good part. I'm looking for Raj Angad Baba actually to make it to the team as well. But more so, honestly, what I'm missing in the Delhi squad currently is a wrist spinner. I need a right arm, genuine leg spinner in there, because we're going to be ending up playing in Delhi as well after a while. So the next few years on the Delhi track, if you just go with hardcore left arm pacers that we purchase, I'm not trying to say that those purchases were not worth it, but you need that variety. And I think we're lacking that currently. Hopefully we'll be able to fill those gaps within the auction right now. Vicky Ostwal is also about to come in. He's not a wrist spinner, but he might be a good bet too for the under-19 team.
Super. So recent developments, I would repeat. Yash Dhul, Delhi Capitals, 50 lakhs, and Lalit Yadav, Delhi Capitals, 65 lakhs, and Ripple Patel, again Delhi Capitals, 20 lakhs. So I think ये एक बहुत अच्छा, ये तीनों बहुत smart buys हैं for Delhi Capitals. इसी के साथ अभी हमारे जितने भी पैनलिस्ट हैं, आइए एक बार उनके पास दोबारा चलते हैं. And before we close our session, because the live auction has started, the last session has started, and the last is always the best, so we cannot actually miss this. So जाते जाते सबसे पहले Sam, what are your closing comments on your expectations, maybe the last session?
Get a finisher and get a leg spinner. I want a Shafin Rutherford or a Tim David to come in, and I want a leggy. That's it. And the team is good. We're doing fine. Good stuff.
Great. Neha Shetty, your closing comments.
From strictly an RCB point of view, probably we still need to invest in some more players. We need, some all-rounders and bowlers as well, opener, and possibly another captain option. But if not, we always have Faf du Plessis. But it's really shaping up well for Delhi Capitals, must say.
Thank you very much. Santuki, your closing comments?
Yeah, there's an ancient saying that West Indians win you T20 titles. So I think Delhi just need to sign anyone. Romario Shepherd, Shafin Rutherford, and Evan Lewis. Just get a West Indian in.
Thank you very much. Shashwat, what would you love to say?
मेरा बिल्कुल भी क्रिकेटिंग पर्सपेक्टिव नहीं है. मेरे हिसाब से एक ऐसा भी प्लेयर चाहिए जिमी नीशम के लिए, जो दिल्ली कैपिटल्स का ट्विटर भी हैंडल करते रहे साथ में, क्योंकि इंस्टाग्राम के लिए वी हैव इनफ इन्फ्लुएंसर्स. आई थिंक वी हैव शिखर धवन की जगह वी हैव ऑल द वे फ्रॉम ऑस्ट्रेलिया डेविड वार्नर, जो पुष्पा के रील्स बनाते रहेंगे, और उनके साथ पृथ्वी शॉ को तो शिखर धवन ने ग्रूम किया ही है. तो आई थिंक एक और सोशल मीडिया ब्रांडिंग के पर्सपेक्टिव से जिमी नीशम वुड बी अ गुड फिनिशर एज वेल. तो आई थिंक जिमी नीशम के लिए जा सकते हैं. He's been unsold.
एक फिनिशर और एक सोशल मीडिया इन्फ्लुएंसर, दोनों की बहुत ज्यादा जरूरत है. डीजे चक, your closing comments?
So I agree with Sam. We need a right arm wrist spinner. The options, I think, are Piyush Chawla. He's been around for a long time, but he's only 33 years old. So he's okay for the next 3 years, right? He'll be okay. He's a spinner. Adam Zampa has gone unsold. These are all unsold players. I've just looked down the list again. Adam Zampa, I mean, he's been very successful previously in the IPL, very successful for Australia as well. And then, of course, Imran Tahir. Imagine him running around the Kotla, right? After taking wickets. He's older than the other two. But I think that's what they're going to go. These are all players that have been passed on in the first round, I think they will go for that. I think we're okay on the finishing side. I think Sarfaraz will play the finisher for us, to be honest. And if we can get Tim David, great, because we only have 4 overseas in the squad so far. So Tim David, and I think one of the 3 leg spinners I've just mentioned who've been passed over already. I think Delhi will ask for one of them to be brought back into the auction and will go big for them. They've got 4.6 crores left. Dark horse in all of this, I think, is Suresh Raina. But where he bats will be the question. Can he bat at 5? We saw him a couple of times batting at 5 last time. If they think they can play him at 5, we may go for, but he's 2 crores, so we've only got 4.6 crores left. So we need a leg spinner and a finisher, and I mean those are the only 2 holes that are left to plug, but pretty happy with the auction overall. Yeah.
All right. Abhi tak kya jo auction hua hai, we are pretty much satisfied, but yes, as our panelists have rightly pointed out कि एक finisher जो कि बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है, and of course एक और spinner जिसकी आवश्यकता है, बस ये 2 चीजें हो जाए और ये 4.5 करोड़ आप शाम तक रात तक आप संभाल के रखिए और बहुत ध्यान से सोच समझ के इन्वेस्ट कीजिए. I can't see Vijay sir if he is left. I think yes.
No,
Vijay sir,
I'm
yes,
there. Yeah.
So Vijay sir,
I
your
just-
closing comments.
I'm very happy with investments for the future. You know, they have taken these young people who, in a season or 2, they'll be ready to take on the world. So that to me is the best investment. And talking of a leg spinner, Piyush Chawla, yes, I agree. He'll be the best choice. Very experienced. And one best thing about him is that he's prepared to bowl in any situation. So you will need a bowler जो डर के बॉल ना डालने आए, you know, who wants to come and bowl. So I think Piyush Chawla is the one. Otherwise, DC is quite balanced.
Superb. So we are almost on the verge of closing this session of Dilli Ka Dil Kya Chahta Hai, but not without saying a heartfelt thank you to all our panelists, Sam Bhai, Neha, Santuki, Shashwat, Vijay sir, and DJ Chuck. Thank you all for joining in from all the parts of the world. And thank you very much. I wish you all the best, and maybe we'll see you after the last session. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you.